Yo, what's good? So this is just gonna be a video that's not, similar to the normal ones. This is not gonna be one of those role plays. This is gonna be a ramble, unscripted. It's just gonna be me talking about, whatever's going on, whatever's in on my mind. And so it won't replace any of the roleplay videos. There'll still be the daily uploads, but this will just be another thing I upload at the same time. That's unrelated to that normal content that's on the channel, I'd say. Yeah, so just in general talking, right now I've just been constantly, every day, just constantly working and putting in work to different things I'm doing, because, I still got school. I have school that I'm doing right now, and, every day I'm working on schoolwork, I'm doing schoolwork, and then when I'm not working on schoolwork, I'm doing this kind of ASMR thing, and at the same time, I'm also working on setting up all these other things, internet-wise. I'm talking to people. It feels like right now I'm super busy, and I sort of realized that, I am definitely the happiest when I'm, super busy, and I'm able to just do things and get things done, because it's it makes you feel like you're really doing something. Like, whenever I make a video and edit a video, it makes you feel like you're doing something. It makes you feel good, and I really like that a lot. And so I feel like the whole weird ASMR thing and starting this channel gives me the opportunity to do that, and from that I definitely get a lot of joy, and that's a big thing, because normally I'm if I weren't doing this, and if I weren't doing kind of ASMR sort of thing, I feel like I'd just be, sort of laying down on my phone and scrolling through Instagram or whatever and all of that. And like a month ago now, I deleted Instagram from my phone. To me, that was such a good decision to make, because I feel like I'm so much more productive. I'm less distracted by those sort of things, because social media really is just so addicting in general. And being able to remove yourself from that and not be distracted by it is something that's really nice to be able to do. And so to fill that extra time, I'm getting all these things done, and alongside that, I would normally be playing video games, and I feel like on the weekends especially, I'd be playing video games for hours every day, and at a certain point, it just feels so unfulfilling. You get that certain dopamine hit from it, but once you get to a certain point, you're done with it, and you just don't want to do it anymore, or you do want to do it, but it's it just leaves you feeling empty and gross by the end of it. And so for Lent, I'm not religious, but Catholic family, and so I still do Lent. So for Lent, I gave up video games, and I've been doing a really good job of staying true to that, and not playing video games when I could be doing something much more productive. And I haven't played video games at all since the start of Lent, and so that is, so far, it's felt really good for me. I feel like I'm learning a lot about processes like editing and recording audio and whatever, and all the other things I'm doing online at the same time, which I won't elaborate on right now, but you get the idea that it's, I'm just learning a lot in general now, and I definitely feel proud of myself for that, so that's something to be happy about. And then back on Lent, if you're a Catholic, you'll know that a big part of Lent is Ash Wednesday and Good Friday and fasting in general. So on Friday, you know about how you eat just fish by Friday, and then Ash Wednesday, you're really only supposed to eat one big meal, or a big meal and two smaller meals that kind of act as just to show that you're eating less than you normally would, and living more simply in that manner. And so I feel like even if you're not religious, Lent is a really good practice to just not consume so much, not be so greedy within yourself, and really look inward on what you can improve on. And so that's definitely how I'm treating it, less as a religious thing and more like a self-improvement, self-care kind of thing. And that's something I really like, because it really does. It makes you feel accomplished. I mean, there's really, there's two types of joy. There's, your regular dopamine hit, and there's the long-term satisfaction that you can only get from really feeling like you accomplish something by giving something up, or by achieving a long-term goal of yours. And so that's what Lent is for me, is I get that really deep sense of satisfaction, and I really love that. And that's, I think it's just like anyone should try to do, is to give something up at some point that may be harming them, or that is they really enjoy, but maybe they could be doing something more productive, and refocus their energy on something that will make them feel satisfied in the long run. But moving on from Lent, I've been talking to so many people recently just about life and what their goals are in life. And there are some things I never understand with people, that I never can quite see it from their point of view. Well, I guess I can see it from their point of view because they explain it pretty well, but I just can't relate to it at all. And so for a lot of this, it's like my friends who kind of have their life planned out in a way. They know what they want to achieve in life, and they have a decent idea of how they're going to get there. And so I've been talking to like two different people, and then one other person a little bit. But the first one is she just wants to get married and have a family and have kids and also have a successful career at the same time. But there's nothing really beyond that. And she's told me, that there's not really much else she cares about, whether it be politics or, community service, building something in a way, building a platform to share your views and your voice. That's just not something she's interested in for whatever reason. And I could never understand. I mean, first off, I don't know what I want my life to look like, 20 years from now. I have no clue what it's going to look like, but, I don't exactly have a plan or what I want it to look like either way. And it just seems so foreign to me to be like, yeah, I know exactly what I want to do, where I want to be at 20 years from now. It's crazy, but I think having that goal is really good for her. It's really healthy, and, it gives you something to achieve in the long run, which relates to what I was talking about before, obviously. And so just dedicating whatever you can do in your life to do that, whether it be advancing your career or meeting that guy or whatever it is, in order for her to achieve that goal. And I think that's a really nice thing to have. And then the second person I talked to, he's like, he wants to move to a specific country and he wants to live there. It's what he wants to spend his life. And he's like, okay, if I move there and I live there and I have a family and I have, everything in a secure life, I will be satisfied. I want nothing more. And he does have political views, but he doesn't, it's not like he's trying to, build a platform for his views or spread them in any meaningful way. And so his goal is really just focused on achieving that. And if he doesn't move to that country, he has his different goals within the United States, which is where we both live, for what he might want to do here. But it's once again just another person. I'm like, wow, you have so much planned out for what you want to do, and I really can't imagine it. And I think there's, for me, is that okay, let me rephrase. They say they know that if they achieve these goals, they're going to be satisfied. Like, they're going to have what they want in life, and they'll be, emotionally or, satiated in life, satisfied. And I don't think I'll ever be, like, fully satisfied. I feel like there's always going to be that next thing that I want to do, that I want to get working on. There's always going to be another thing, no matter what. And so, it's like, will I ever be, like, fully satisfied? I don't think I will, like, any normal sense, but I think I will at some point be, like, happy with constantly having something to pursue, or I'll come to terms with that I'll always have something that I want to pursue and that I want to do, and you don't really need to always achieve everything. It's just, it's nice to have a pursuit. Like, there's certain people who really enjoy their jobs, and it's like, if they could, they'd want to do the job till the day they died, because they're satisfied with just pursuing that job. They don't need to have a different, end goal of retirement necessarily. And for me, if I could reach that point, I think that's the type of person that I am personally. And so, for me, it's definitely about the journey, not the destination of, like, retirement or whatever in life, but just all the things that come along with it, all the different hobbies I can pick up, all the different whatever in life. And I think that's where I'll probably get the most satisfaction. That's pretty much all on that topic that was really sitting on my mind. But there's a lot of other, just talking about those hobbies for a second, there's, like, I feel like, maybe I just got, like, a little bit of a ADHD brain, but I'm always constantly, like, wanting to try and do new things all the time, start up new things, whatever it is. And one of the things I've always been interested in is, like, growing plants or a whole bunch of things. And for the last, like, 6-7 months, it's been fully focused on mycology, mushrooms, the study of them, growing mushrooms, all that kind of stuff. So I've been constantly reading about and researching mushrooms and that kind of stuff, and I have some spores, like they're like kind of spore syringes, and they're kept in a specific solution that allows them to grow once you put them in, like, a specific thing, a specific thing that they grow on. So different mushrooms, they grow better on different stuff, but generally, like, a good grain that is good and sterile is what you want them to grow on. And so I think being able to do that is just another hobby that I'll find that I enjoy. And it's just another thing to add to the top of the list. I don't think I can ever focus on one thing at once, because I'll spend, like, 2 hours or 3 hours on something in one day, and I'll be bored of it already, and then I'll want to move on to the next thing. But if I only have one thing to do, then I won't have that next thing to move on to. So I ideally, I have, like, 5 or 6 things that I can just line up and do each one for, like, 2 hours, and then go to the next one, and then the next day maybe I do a different 3, maybe I do, like, 4 things one day, and another 2, 3 the next, and that way I always have something that I'm wanting to kind of do. But that's really the question of if I should need something that I want to do all the time, or if I should just be, disciplined enough to just do it. Because I feel like, maybe I should just be, like, in a state of mind where I don't do something because I have, like, a joy or motivation of doing it. I just do it because it has to get done, or because it's good for me to get done. And I find that I really struggle with that kind of discipline side of things, especially with, like, working out. I find it a lot harder to do when I don't have the motivation, and I just have to stay disciplined to do it. But it's definitely something I've gotten better at doing with time, because it used to be, like, I'd be really motivated to work out every day for months and months on end, and I'd do that, and then it would be like 2 months straight of me just basically not working out and being a little bit too lazy, and it's not good. You should not do that. So don't be lazy. Don't be a little too lazy. You gotta figure out how you can keep yourself disciplined for the times when you don't have motivation, because you're always gonna hit a point where you're not motivated. You just want to lay in bed all day, and that's like, at those points it determines like who you are as a person. If you're able to still get out of bed and kind of do it and at least get some work done, no matter what it is, instead of just having an off day, really. Or you got to be able to turn your off days into at least a half productive day, and maybe eventually you get those off days to just always be productive, no matter what. Which is something I just find really difficult to do, but that's okay, because I feel like as I get older, I'll only get better at it. I'll only get more disciplined and do a better job of just being productive all the time when I really need to be. And this thing, really reassuring about that, because I've seen it. I've seen myself continue to get better at being, disciplined. When I was younger, I couldn't do anything if I wasn't motivated to do it. And as I've aged, I've slowly but surely gotten better and better at just doing things that have to get done. And with school, it's definitely a lot of that. I'm just not as nearly as motivated to do work as I used to be, but I'm able to just do it anyway, and it can be really hard to do, but it's definitely a skill, muscle that you train and you build in order to be able to do. And I hope that's true for this channel too, because there's obviously going to be days where I'm not motivated to edit and upload a video, but I still do it anyway. At least I hope I do. I will. And that's really nice to just have up your sleeve, I'd say. That's about all that I'm going to ramble about. If you listened this far, I hope it was decently entertaining. And goodbye.